Alright, good day. I'm going to go over a couple more Enroute things here, just show you a couple more pointers that you can do with this. Kind of continue from my last video a little bit. So let's say I need to make a radius on something, like they call that a fillet, that you might want to make on something. There's a couple ways you can do that. One is you can make, a sharp corner here, and then I come over here to this icon. It's under fillet. I think it's also under draw fillet down here, and basically this is a radius that the fillet will be, so I'm just going to type in 1 for 1 inch, and then I'm going to click on this point and this point, and you'll see it rounds it, and then I hit apply. So that's how you make a fillet. If I go back one, I'm going to show you another. Instead of making a fillet, you can do a chamfer. A chamfer is a 45-degree corner that's knocked off. And I can go apply. So there's my chamfer. Now, let me do this again and watch what happens if I click in the wrong spot. So if I go back to just a radius of 1 inch, but I click way over here, it doesn't always work right. That one actually did, but it's better off if you click further out, because sometimes it will leave some debris behind. If you have debris that's kind of left behind as well, you can refresh just by zooming in and out, and that will refresh your workstation. Let's say I have a rectangle, and one quicker way to do this would be select a radius first. See, I can select a couple options over here on the rectangle, but let's say I just make a rectangle, and now I want to radius it. I want to do all the corners now, so I click on that button, and I click on my shape, and I hit apply, and it rounded them all at once. So that's a really quick way. So for some of the shapes we're trying to do, some rounded edges really make it a lot nicer. So if you have a complicated shape, you might round some of the edges, to make it a lot better. So that's kind of neat. The text button, a lot of people are catch on to this pretty quick, but remember, you have all the different kinds of text. You have all these adjustments that you can do to the text. One thing I kind of think is fun with the text is it will type on curves. So this is for sign making, and I want to make it smaller, obviously, but I have to hit the shift button here. So it's kind of neat that you can type on curved surfaces, and it can really enhance what you're trying to do. So this button will make it go from the one side to the next, and once I hit close, the text isn't something I can edit. So right now it's purple, so that means I actually can edit it when it's purple, but I can't change it, so to speak. So the only way I can change text to like cut chunks off of it and stuff is I have to select the text and I have to convert it to curves, because curves makes it into a shape that the computer recognizes that can be cut. So I click on this, and now if I want, I can cut this piece out efficiently. So I come over here and click on this. This is the trim button. I'm really a fan of trimming. There's lots of things that you can trim, and I go by boundaries, all boundaries, and then I just get rid of, whoops. One thing that you might want to do when you're using the trim command is turn off the snap buttons. Make sure those are all off. So I might come right through here to cut this out. So that way, if the machine's making this part, it hooks the U onto the rest of the part. So that might be kind of helpful. Alright, some other features. If I go draw a line, when I use this snap button, this will go to the middle. Okay, and basically what that does is it finds the center of the line, and basically it's not counting this curve, but it's going from there. But that's a handy tool to find the center of something. This will grab to the center of a circle. This will grab to a nearby contour, just like it says. This will be the endpoint. I use an endpoint snap a lot. So if I just want to go draw a line, I click on endpoint, and if I want to grab the end of that line really quick, that's a nice command to use there. If there's an intersection, you click on this one, and it will jump to the intersection. So I have an intersection right here where two lines cross, and it will jump onto that. Pretty easy. The tangent one doesn't work quite as well. It's supposed to jump on the edge of a circle. Perpendicular works really good. So if I want to draw a line perpendicular to this line, I can click on there. I gotta go draw a line again real quick. There's lots of shortcut keys for these too. So, that's kind of nice. Let me just, if I come across, give you a good example of perpendicular, I guess. Alright, so there, it's going to snap right on, so that's a 90-degree point here. So what that did is just guarantee that that was 90 degrees right there, which is pretty handy. So then, you can rotate stuff, so I can click on here, and here's the rotate button. I can type in the angle I want it to rotate, so maybe a 45-degree angle, and I can rotate it from the center of the object or the corner of the object, and hit apply. So there, it just copied it. So if I don't want to copy it, I have to unclick that box. So there's a lot of little settings that you'll figure out. One thing that gets a lot of students frustrated is if I want to delete this line, I click on it and I'll see students hit backspace like 20 times, and they're like freaking out. It won't delete. In CAD, you have to use the delete button. So if something won't go away, you have to use the delete button, not the backspace button. So that's something you have to kind of keep remembering, that you have to use the backspace button and not the delete button. Makes it a little bit easier. So we haven't gotten into toolpaths yet. I think I'm going to stay out of those for a little while yet. You have the polygons. There's a couple different ways you can do polygons. It's just something you have to kind of experiment with. We don't use those a lot, but obviously if you're trying to increase the corners, if you want to do an octagon, you're going to put 8 corners in, obviously. And it is kind of hard to size them up just right, so we don't use those a lot, but that is a possible feature in there that you could use. So now once you have a shape and you think you're ready to submit your drawing, basically not a bad idea to put your name on your drawing, just over in the corner somewhere, just to kind of help out with that. And then another thing that would be helpful, when you go to save it, you go File, Save As, and I would just save it right on the desktop for now. And when you save it, type in CAD, whatever number drawing it is, and then your last name. So that way I know whose file that is before I even open it. I know what it is and I know who it is before I even open the file. So that makes things a lot more clear as far as trying to figure this out. And then I hit save. So just a heads up on academic integrity here. You should be doing your own work. It's really easy to catch kids who cheat on this, and I don't want to have to do that. If you get caught cheating, you and the two people who cheated will not earn credit. But you can see what computers these were generated on, the files, and who generated them and stuff like that. So please be honest. I'll help you through this if you're struggling, but we need to get that right. So then you just find that file off the desktop and attach it to your assignment on Schoology, and then I'll grade it by taking it off Schoology there. So pretty easy to save stuff. So once again, I go File, Save As. I put the assignment in there, so CAD 1 and then Heiser, and then I hit Save. You'll kind of see there's a couple files I have on the desktop here. I don't have my name on these ones, but I'm the only one using this computer, and I'm not handing them in. So it'd be great if you could, hand those in accordingly. That would really be awesome. So those are some of the main things. I want to show you one more tool that I really like. It's called Offset. And I can click on my shape. I'm going to turn off my helping hands here, my snaps. I click on my shape, and then I can decide if I want it outlined or inlined, and I can make the amount. I have to make it a lot less because right now it's way too big, as you can kind of see. So it's just taking this rectangle and it's basically copying it with a border. So I can go square or rounded, and offset's a really great command. There's a couple things on there that I'll use it for. So sometimes I use offset just to draw lines. So I'll draw one line like this, and let's say I need another line over here, like parallel to each other. I'll click on this and I'll go draw offset, and I'll type in the amount I want to offset. So when you're doing architectural drawings, this is a way you would draw the walls for a house. Maybe if you want one wall over 20 feet from the next wall, that's what you do. And then maybe this is a great example of where I'd use the end snap. So I use end snap there to kind of complete this rectangle that's a little bit of an angle. So that's a way to use offset. Really handy command. And then there's extend. So I go draw line, and right here I go extend, and I go by length, and I'm just going to extend it out. So you can change the length here by whatever length you want, and it will keep extending. So that's a way for you to use a couple more commands here. Alright, that's it for now.